You ever drank water that had like a lemon in it, and when you drank it after it sat a little while, it started having a really weird flavor? Well, welcome everybody to the GAVARCA, PresleySora.com, GAVARCA Racing Series. We are on iRacing. Put the logo up so we don't get in trouble. And welcome to Indianapolis Raceway Park, the site of the PresleySora.com 100. Race number 7 out of 10 for the GAVARCA Series here. We are broadcasting live on Twitch. It is Wednesday, September 3rd, and I'm Joe Donahue. Welcome into the stream. Pleasure to have you here as we get closer to the end of this championship. We've only got 17 drivers so far out in the final stages of this practice session. We'll put the ticker up on the screen so you can see where everybody's laps are going up on the board as we come through the practice for what will be a 100-lap feature event this evening. This is the home race for a lot of the drivers who come out in this racing series, including Gavin Newton himself, Presley Sora, Brayton Laster, and some others as well. So, as I mentioned, we are getting closer to the end of the championship. The points battle coming into tonight sees the number 93 car, which you see at the top of the leaderboard, Aiden Walker, sitting atop the points standings with a gap of 32 points down to Presley Sora, who's been running the 67 car in this one. He's got one win to the season, whereas Aiden Walker is the only driver with multiple wins. Isaac Johnson sits third in the championship after his win last time out. William Schmidt in fourth and Gavin Newton in fifth, two drivers that have just been quietly picking away at things and having a solid run into the top end of the championship standings. So 17 drivers in, and we are excited to see what happens as we go through tonight's action, 100 laps around IRP, as they may call it. This is a home place for the ARCA Series, which was a Midwestern series that got bought out by NASCAR, and now it's a thing. And here is the grid, at least the cars on the pit lane, as some of the others are practicing. We'll take a look through the field and identify some of these cars with the 20 seconds we have left before qualifying. This is Henry Kalhoff in his first appearance of the season. Right behind him is that's not the car I was going for, the 48 Runnings Racing's Designs, B-Blaze Vintage on the front. Gavin Newton, home track for him. Antonio Mancini driving car 14 again. And Mancini's had some struggles so far this season. And Aiden Walker in the number 93 car. Holy shit. Well, it is go time for qualifying. 10 minutes on the board. Driver's going to have 2 laps to put up their best time. I think we got 1 extra in, so we should be looking at 18. Aiden Walker going to be the first one to roll off of the pit lane and onto the racetrack for us. I think we have a group qualifying session. That is correct. This is Harry Grindell in car number 70. Kamikaze Motorsports on this one. Looks like a nice, sharp-looking race car here. Isaac Johnson, car number 33 on the track. He is scored as the 6 for some reason. He's right behind Brayton Laster in the 06. Laster, an actual ARCA driver. The 53 of Griffin Jones sitting in line behind. OSRL, heavy hitter in car 53. And they come around, and Aiden Walker is going to lead the way down the back straightaway. And it's not under caution, so we're going to override that and put the green flag out. And we'll see what Walker's first lap looks like. As he comes around, 22.449 puts Aiden Walker to the top of the board for the time being. And we'll see as the rest of the field comes around, the guys who are out on the racetrack. We might have actually not done the 2 laps thing. They might have waived that to have a 10-minute open session for everybody to just go out and run as many laps as possible to put up the best time they can. Walker goes slower. No, he doesn't actually. He goes faster on the second time around. Go back through the field a little bit. This is the number 4 of Brett Bennett. Nolan Sanford jumps to third on the leaderboard. Henry Kalhoff. And now Isaac Johnson up to second. Check in with the 52 car. The Kodak number 52. Nice shiny stuff on the side of that car. That's a good-looking race car. And onto the front stretch here. Man, the optimized game stuff in this track. It's going to be a little bit splotchy throughout the broadcast if it keeps up that way. Hello, Dad. My father's here watching the stream. We have about 7.5 minutes of this still to go. Everybody's sliding off the top of turn 4 back there as I'll try to get around and watch Virgil Stanley here. Virgil Stanley has had a tough go about this season so far. Mancini's really the one that's sliding, so we'll check Mancini out when he comes around back onto the front stretch. It looks like the 11 car is actually pushing up into the wall. Mancini keeps it together this time. Past the stripe here. Not going to go faster, but we'll see if he slides out of turn number 2 again. It's not the fast way around to be loose like that. And Aiden Walker's up at the top of the board, just like he's at the top of the point standings. Presley Sora in second, and he comes back out onto the racetrack. Must have reset the car, and he will go again. Best thing you could do for yourself is have fresh tires and a low fuel tank. So the drivers might go out, do a lap or two, and then come in and reset, and then go back out again, try to run in good laps with good tires, although sliding like that out of turn number 2 is not going to get Presley Sora a fast lap. And through turns 3 and 4, he's into the wall. That will invalidate the lap time, so hitting the wall, just immediately your lap time is deleted, and it is not going to go up on the board for Presley Sora. Isaac Johnson coming back out to try again. Mo Perry, I see the 54 car in line right in front of him, and Aiden Walker comes around the outside of that 54 car. Just put up the fastest lap again, the number 93 car. Here comes Mo Perry to the line. Nolan Sanford jumps up a few spots. 22.4s and 22.5s dominate the top half of the top 10. Mo Perry diamonds off of turn number 2. That 82 car behind him is Michael Deitch. Michael Deitch. I think it's Deitch. Sitting 16th out of 19 cars. And Mo Perry around on the front stretch. 10th on the leaderboard. We've got John Szulczewski in the 18 car. Ronald Swyke in the 15 and Brent Baldeck in the 33 that have yet to qualify. Here is Michael Deitch. Mikey into the wall off of turn number 4. That's going to invalidate that lap time. Only run 5 laps. A lot of the other drivers out here have run 10 to 12. The driver with the most laps in so far is Virgil Stanley, and now Presley Sora as well, who goes to the top of the leaderboard with 12 laps in on track. I was just in Indianapolis 2 days ago. I was on my way home from the Nashville IndyCar race, so everybody watched that. That was fun. I had a good time. It was a good race. And the ARCA cars were at the Springfield Mile last weekend, I believe. So that's also a great racetrack. Or they DuQuoin. No, they were at Springfield. They go to DuQuoin first. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I'm sorry. Brayton Laster coming through 3 and 4. Let's see who's around here. Who is this? I could interview someone quick while we wait for qualifying to continue forward. Watching Antonio Mancini hit the grass a little bit coming out of the pits. We got a long cam here. Let's watch as Mancini and Presley Sora behind him. We're going to go around the entire racetrack. Interesting to watch the different lines here. Although Sora just got in the wall, and Mancini power sliding really bad down the backstretch, all over the place. Sora gave up on the lap. Mancini did not. Sora's within the 22.3s. Good laps from the 67 cars. He will go back out again and try one more time. And who's out on the racetrack? That's funny. There's Gavin out on the racetrack on the back straightaway. Not a good qualifying time so far. Gavin's not really someone who always does fantastic on the short ovals. He's had some really good runs on intermediate, like standard super speedway, or speedways, not super speedways. He goes around in turn 1. And there goes Ronald Swikey off of the pit lane to come out onto the racetrack. Swikey still yet to put up a lap time, so he will go out of last on the grid once he puts the time up on the board. Why don't we go on board with this car? And I'll stop talking and give myself a little break, and we will ride on board. Not a great lap time to start it off, but it was patient. Let's ride along again and see what Swikey can do here. Oh! No. That was an improvement. That was not. Oh well. Back out up on the top of the stand here. Check out Gavin Newton going through with Isaac Johnson right behind him. 30 seconds left in qualifying. Looking pretty solid for Presley Sora. Walker is out on the racetrack, and he is turning pretty good lap times, but it's looking like things might go Presley's way as Aiden Walker actually just reset, and he is not going to be able to get around the racetrack in time to put up another run. So Sora comes past, and he will have one more lap around if he would like to take it. Isaac Johnson, I think he's just barely going to make the cutoff here, and he will. I think the car behind him is Brett and Swikey. So the checkered flag comes out, and it is the end of getting laps in. So the last times around for everybody, the last car to come past the line and get a time will be this 4 machine of Brett Bennett. Isaac Johnson spins in front of him, and Bennett off the corner. And the field is set. And Presley Sora is your pole sitter. So look. Pull him in real quick. Let's pull him in and talk to him real quick. Presley Sora, we got you up in the booth. You're the pole sitter. You got a copy, brother?
I've got you. What's up?
All right. Tell me about that. You got the qualifying run in. You got the pole position. Do you think that's crucial to what's going to come in this 100-lap race, or what's the big takeaway for getting through to the checkered flag first?
Yeah, I think obviously it's nice to win the pole. The issue here is, I don't have lane choice for the initial start, and the top side is very, very dominant here at IRP. So if I had to bet, unless I pull off something crazy, Aiden's probably going to get the lead for me on the first lap because the outside's just so much better. But I've got a little plan for turn 1, so we'll see what happens.
Word. Well, we will send you back down to get ready for it. Thank you for jumping in real quick, and good luck in the race, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
You handsome man. And let's see the starting lineup. Starting from grid. Here we go. Starting from the pole. Driving car number 98. We just talked to him. That's Presley Sora out of Indiana at his home racetrack. Aiden Walker to the outside in car number 93 will go on the outside of row number 1. Row number 2 sees Isaac Johnson. That's the 33 machine, Toyota. On the inside of Nolan Sanford in car 52. Nice qualifying run for the 52 car. William Schmidt runs 5th in qualifying. The 79 will go from the inside of row 3. On his outside, Harry Grindell in car number 70 for Kamikaze Motorsports. On the inside of row 4, you've got Mo Perry in the 54 machine, and to his outside will be Henry Kalhoff in his debut this season. Starting to look further back in here, let's go to row 5. Row 5 has Brett Bennett on the inside in the black number 4 and Virgil Stanley in the 11 to his outside, the Ford Mustang. Griffin Jones in car 53 will go from 11th and 12th place on the grid. Hometown kid as well. Brayton Laster. Antonio Mancini, car 14 in 13th position, and Bobby Blazer will start outside of him in 14th. 15th place on the starting grid is going to be Gavin Newton, and to his outside, Michael Deitch, 2 cars that run regularly with this series, and they're starting a little bit further back in the grid, but there's plenty of time to make them up. Ronald Swikey goes from 17th on the grid. John Shulcheski in 18th with the 18 car, worst qualifying time put up on the board, and Brent Baldeck in the 33 machine did not put a time up on the board in qualifying, and that Dirt Vision sponsored 33 car will go from last on the grid. Looks pretty good, though. That's a solid-looking race car. We'll see what he does with it. And someone, Bobby Blazer and Virgil Stanley as well, have both not put themselves out on the racetrack. Actually, now he's back on it. Something went there for Bobby Blazer. So he will roll out onto the grid, and he'll have to come around, catch back up, and get back in position here. As the 1 to go will be given to the grid. One more time around, and then 100 laps, and we will have the cars do a green-white checkered situation if we need it. They come around looking good. IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park. This is right next to, and by right next to I mean on the same property, within baseball throwing distance of the drag strip that the U.S. Nationals were just held on this past weekend. But we've got 19 cars, and the pace car has pulled off the racetrack. So it's time now to bring them down. 100 laps in the PresleySora.com 100, the marquee race of the PresleySora.com GAVARCA Series this season. Led to the line by Presley Sora, and waiting. Green flag is out. Presley drove it in deep there. That was his little snooker move, try to get up to the top side with Aiden Walker. So Walker snookered back to the inside, goes down low, maybe a slide job attempt from the 93. 67 stays outside. Presley Sora said he wanted the dominant line on the outside of the racetrack, and he will lead the first lap past the line. Presley Sora over Aiden Walker as we come through again. We got 1 lap down and 99 times around to go. Aiden Walker staying competitive on the inside line with Sora on the outside. Looking in a little bit. You're going to use your tires up a little bit more, being down low like Aiden Walker is. And the top side is more dominant with speed, generally speaking. So this is going to look good for Presley Sora over the long run, as long as he can hold up and Presley can stay a nose ahead. Almost contact there between the two of them, but not quite, as Aiden Walker will slip in behind. No, he won't. Stays on the quarter panel of the 67 machine. And there off the corner, a little bit of a wiggle, a couple cars getting into the wall on the outside. Presley Sora takes over the race lead. Good stuff from him. Aiden Walker now going to have to relinquish that position, stay in second place. Isaac Johnson sits third place. William Schmidt fourth. We got a little battle back here. Fifth place between Nolan Sanford and Harry Grindell. Grindell on the inside. And Grindell's going to give it up. Mo Perry in sixth place. This is also a home race for Mo Perry, originally out of Indiana. Homecoming event. Nice run off the top side, even getting a little loose there from the number 54 car. Trying to catch up to his teammate, Aiden Walker, who runs in P2. Looking backwards a little bit in the field. We'll check in on John Shulcheski here, as we've got Gavin Newton in the wall hard. Newton's got damage on the front right wheel, and everybody's going to slide through. Gavin's got a pretty big damage. Single car incident, no yellow out on the racetrack, and Gavin's going to come down to the inside of the track and into the pit lane. That's a tough way to start this race off. So Gavin's going to, I assume, with no yellow, he will take the fast repair. All of these drivers are granted one single fast repair for this race. We'll see if he takes that or if he calls it or what he's about to do. All 19 cars started, and Gavin is now the first and only car one lap down so far. Battle on your screen is Isaac Johnson on the outside in the 33 and William Schmidt on the inside in the 79. That car has no sponsor on the front or no design on the front bumper. So coming at you, it looks pretty bare. Isaac Johnson in the Slipstream Designs, number 33. Something on the top of that. I can't read what's on the hood from this angle. But they are side by side, and Mo Perry hella loose out of turn number 2 back there. So the 10th of this race will be completed. Every lap is 1%, and Presley Sora has led all 10 laps to start this event off. Into turns 1 and 2 again. Side by side, and side by side behind them as well. Nolan Sanford, unfortunately, he had a really good starting position up there in the top 5 and just has been trickling backwards. And he will continue to do so as Mo Perry's gotten around him. Henry Kalhoff trying to get through again as well. The 63 car in black and pink. And then behind those two is Brett Bennett in the 4 car. Mancini just made a pass on Bobby Blazer for 11th, further back off the screen. And the sun's starting to come out. No sun makes it a little bit grippier and makes the tires last a little bit longer. The driver's only going to have 2 sets of tires to play with throughout this race. So they're going to have to manage those tires and get through this event like so. But there's somebody who's good with speed and managing tires leading the way. That is Presley Sora. He's still being hustled by Aiden Walker. Aiden is the only driver so far this season to win 2 races. He went back-to-back. And Sora is going to stay to the outside. Staying in the dominant lane. Or at least what he said was the dominant lane by his standards. Aiden Walker definitely using the bottom side well. Staying afloat here with the battle for the lead between himself and the 67 car. Goes low. And that's a little bit aggressive down there. That was a lot lower than you probably are going to see most cars running throughout the course of the event. The yellow line down there rarely gets touched, and especially with a stock car for the heavy weight and relatively small tires, they are not going to be doing that very much. William Schmidt still side by side with Isaac Johnson. Grindel looking on. Little bit of contact there between the 2 Toyotas. But Isaac Johnson will stick his nose ahead, and he will be in the final podium spot as they come out of turn number 4. Grindel and Mo Perry right there, and looks like a battle now starting between Kalhoff and Brett Bennett. They go to the inside. Nolan Sanford's up top as well. 3 cars all stuck together down the back straightaway, 16 laps into this race. Sponsored by a broadcasting company. Interesting. Antonio Mancini's been doing a really solid job, actually, of just picking away at cars and slowly working his way through the positions in the field that he can. He's got a little bit of open space in front of him. Why don't we go ahead and jump on board with this car. And as we come through 1 and 2 again, we're going to listen to the throttle control here. We get on the throttle, but not full. It's kind of half throttle, up, and now we're full throttle. Excellent stuff from Antonio Mancini here as we go back outside the car. And Mancini running inside the top 10 now. Side by side behind him between Brayton Laster and Bobby Blazer. Laster in the 06. Bobby sliding up into him. Contact there between the two as the 90 car gets a little hip check in. And Bobby will get out in front of these two, goes to 11th place in the running order. Griffin Jones there behind him in the Lucas Oil-powered number 53. Back up at the front, these leaders are still right with each other here. Presley Sora and Aiden Walker back to the front straightaway and back into the corner. Nice run off the top side for Presley. You still see him holding on to the top line, not wanting to let Walker through on the bottom. And he doesn't really need to worry about letting him through on the bottom because you have to slow it down enough. It's when you go to a racetrack, it doesn't have banking. The high line a lot of the time works. It works because you're not turning the wheel as much. You can hold a little bit more speed up there and get the momentum rolling off the corner a little bit easier. You know, you'd think the short way around would be the faster way around, but just because of how much more speed you can carry and just that little bit less radius that you run on the steering wheel when you're turning, you can keep a little bit extra power up and it does you favors. And then it also will hold out the tires. The tires do not fade away as quickly up there. But that is a consequence, a good thing, but a consequence of being further up and having that less of a radius to get around. So Sora still leading the way. Aiden Walker sitting behind him in second place, jumping backwards a little bit. We'll check out what's going on here with this nice little battle. Still Brett Bennett, Henry Kalhoff, and Nolan Sanford running sort of under a blanket here, back out onto the front straightaway. Sanford slides off the corner. Just try to manage those tires, guys. Make sure you don't use them up too quickly. You only got a few sets to work with for this race. Sanford, 7th on the track right now. And Mancini is slowly catching up to these three in the 14 car. So Antonio Mancini has had some tough luck so far this season. Tonight is not a tough luck night so far, as we are a quarter of the way into this race, and Mancini slowly picked off drivers, got himself into the top 10, and he's still making up time on the trio in front of him as Brett Bennett got loose off turn number 2. Falls back a little bit, and a battle here for 7th between Sanford and Kalhoff. Kalhoff looked a little bit low. Sanford gets a little wiggly off the 4th turn. Still holds out. Now Presley, car 67, that 32-point gap to the lead in the championship is to Aiden Walker, who sits right in front of him. But some extra bonus points definitely would help. The bonus points for leading laps here would be a great help to him. The highest driver in the point standings that is not in this race tonight is Madeline Roten, who won at Daytona from position 6. So Nolan Sanford, Mo Perry, and not Chris Williams, John Cholcheski will move upwards in the standings as a bunch of drivers have missed a few races. We're slowly running out of cars that have been in every event. Chris Williams and Madeline Roten were two that had, up to this point, run in every single race of the PresleySora.com GAVARCA Series that are not here this evening. Aiden Walker took a look to the inside. Madeline Roten was teammates with Walker when the 60 car was showing up to the racetrack alongside, but that is not the case tonight. Aiden Walker's operating with Mo Perry, who Mo Perry just clamored the wall out of turn number 2, sits in 6th place right now. In 6th is the 54. It'll pop up on your screen here in a second. 654 up top. 7th is Nolan Sanford. And there is Mo Perry in the next to normal, number 54, Toyota Camry. Behind him is Nolan Sanford. Still holding on. I think we're kind of set into a rhythm here. Some people are getting a little aggressive, but for the most part, we're all just getting laps in. That's kind of what we need to do to get through 100 laps around this racetrack. Going to be a third of the way into the race. Presley Sora has led the entire time. Brayton Laster just made a pass on Griffin Jones, getting back in front of him, but into the wall for Brayton Laster, and that will surely give an opportunity to the 53 car. To the inside, 2 Toyotas into the 3rd corner. And Brayton into the wall again. Brayton is bouncing off of the topside wall, which kind of shows the wear of the tires, also showing Brayton will be struggling with understeer by the looks of things, the way that car's sliding into the wall. And you can kind of see it with how much turn in the front left tire from this angle you're looking at when he comes into the corner. You can just see, I mean, you can see it. And that's enough to note there's either some understeer or Brayton's pushing it a little hard, or it's a little bit of both. There's a train in the background. Just ignore that if you can hear it. I don't know if it's actually coming through. Here's Presley Sora and Aiden Walker past the line again. More than a third of the way into this race, and we're coming up on some lap traffic. Ronald Swikey. Gavin Newton is a lap down already. Gavin running right in front of Swikey. This is Ronald in the 15 machine. And there's the leaders right behind him. So coming up onto lap traffic on lap 35 or lap 36 of this race. Timing and scoring took a second to update there. And Swikey just going to move down to the inside of the racetrack, get out of the way of the leaders. I was going to say I could have expected such out of Ronald. Very respectable, easygoing race car driver out there, just having a good time. He's kind of picking off the laps. Obviously, that car's not operating in a way that Ronald's handling at the same level that Aiden Walker and Presley Sora are. So he just will go ahead and get out of the way of them. Now Gavin Newton is next in line to do so, and will Gavin move out of the way is the question, as he has yet to. He is already a lap down, so he's going to have to do something about this. And as he comes off the corner, almost contact there with the race leader. That's a little dangerous. And up into the wall goes Gavin Newton. He got in a little bit deep, trying to hold on to where he was, and goes through for Presley Sora and into the wall again hard. Gavin Newton on the outside of Aiden Walker. They both get past him. He's going to try to send it back down on the inside, actually. Gets cut off by Walker, and he's in the wall again. That's not good for Gavin. He's struggling with this car now and keeps getting into the wall. That's going to keep causing damage to the 48 machine. Swikey is the car in front of him on the racetrack. He's about to possibly lap Gavin Newton. Virgil Stanley is next in line. Virgil's had a lot of really tough races so far in this championship, and tonight's actually going relatively well for the 11 machine. And I wish I had a co-commentator for this. There's Presley. Let's jump up on the blimp cam. Follow Presley around the racetrack here from the blimp above the racetrack. Insert generic name here. It's the Hoosier Tire blimp in this series. The General Tire blimp. For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time. Since we're doing sponsor reads, we'll take a moment to shout out PresleySora.com, the presenting sponsor of this race as well as the series. You're not going to want to miss all of the cool merch that you can get from heading over to PresleySora.com to support Presley's ARCA racing dream and get the cool merch for this shirt as well, or for this car on a shirt, as well as the other fanatics of the Presley Sora racing career. So go over to PresleySora.com to see more about what's down there. The race for the lead has been this close for quite some time as we roll up slowly but surely to the halfway point of this event. Aiden Walker in tow right behind Presley, and I am stunned that we've gotten this far in without a yellow, but we have. We're just trying to get through this race. Presley Sora and Aiden Walker both kind of managing their tires, but Aiden's still keeping Presley honest right now in the race lead. Down the backstretch. Be curious to know what the tire situation looks like for these guys as they will come back to the front straightaway here. Slides from the 67 car and past the line again. The laps are ticking off nicely for the 19 drivers. All 19 of them still on the racetrack. Virgil Stanley has been lapped. Brayton Laster is going to go a lap down in the 06 machine as well. Walker stuck behind Sora on the outside of that 06 car. Next in line, Brett Baldeck to lose a lap, if that is the case. there is a halfway yellow in this event. Want to double check it before I set it. So when we get to lap 50 about, you'll expect to see a yellow where we will reset. So for the drivers who are getting close to getting lapped, Brent Baldeck might be a little bit too close for comfort for this, but maybe John Szulczewski is looking forward, seeing if he's got what it takes to stay in the lead lap position and not go a lap down under yellow here, as around the outside, Presley Sora goes on Brett Baldeck, and he will get out of the way of Aiden Walker as well. Closing in, and Sora's got a couple car lengths to breathe on. That's the first time that's happened in a while for the 67 car. And he really has some room to breathe. You don't want to use the car up. It's not worth it at this point for Aiden Walker. So we're just coming a few laps away from a competition caution. Oh, excuse me. These races start so late. Brayton Laster into the wall again. Lapped car. He just got passed by Virgil Stanley for 16th on the racetrack. Both cars a lap down. And coming to the stripe, John Szulczewski stays way out of the groove. Around the outside goes Sora and Walker, and they get on to lap 50. So we're going to probably run this lap out and then see the yellow flag come out for the competition caution. So down the back straightaway, your halfway leader and halfway winner. He's also going to secure the most laps led award, as he will lead us past the line and come back into the second half of the race as the leader. That's Presley Sora in car number 67. He will win the first 50 laps to no avail, nothing to get out of it except pride and a good starting spot when we come back to green. Presley Sora in first over Aiden Walker, Isaac Johnson, William Schmidt, Harry Grindell, Henry Kalhoff, Mo Perry, Brett Bennett, Nolan Sanford, and Antonio Mancini. They make up the top 10. And Aiden Walker, as soon as the yellow came out, came down the pit lane. Not sure why the dive was so fast, but he's rolling down to his pit box, and repairs and whatnot will be coming his way. Got the Tennessee state flag on there. Isaac Johnson has pulled into the pits behind him. And coming through turn 2. Since they went in first, they're actually going to come out in front of all of these guys. Not sure what happened to Presley here, but Presley's coming in with the lapped cars. Virgil Stanley and Brayton Laster stay out on the racetrack, so they'll probably get their laps back. And off of pit lane, Aiden Walker won over Isaac Johnson. So Presley Sora, this is really interesting. I'm not sure what's going on. We can maybe talk to him once he pulls out of his pit box here. So he's going to get fresh rubber on the 67 machine, and Presley Sora will come back out onto the racetrack, and then we'll come talk to the leader at the halfway mark. All right, out he goes. And let's see what's going on here. So we've only talked to one driver so far tonight, but we talked to him twice. It's Presley Sora, and he's back with us. Presley, up in the booth, you got a copy?
I do.
Presley, you led every single lap of the first half of this race. It's got to feel good for the car. I'm sure it's feeling good for you running that top side like you said you wanted to do.
Yeah, I was fast. I mean, I wasn't full pace or anything. I was just kind of biding my time up there. But unfortunately, I'm stupid, and I've never seen pit road open the first lap by when the field's not even caught up ever before. And then I looked up and Aiden was pitting. I was like, oh, the pits are open. So we're restarting P13 here, and that probably kills our chance at winning, but we'll see how close we can get back up there to the front.
Well, we'll see if it's a shit show at the end like it usually is. I'm going to send you back down because we're going back to green like already. So good luck the rest of the way, my guy.
Hope I'm talking to you after I win.
That's what I like to hear. All right. And we're back. Aiden Walker has adopted the race lead off of a mistake by Presley Sora. So Presley should get the most laps led, though still he led those couple. And with lap 55 coming up on the board, we're back to green flag racing from the halfway break. 5 laps down in that halfway break. William Schmidt looking down on the inside for third. Second place right now is Isaac Johnson. Aiden Walker leads into the corner pretty dominantly. Johnson's right there. and Sora is stuck in traffic. What a silly little mistake that's going to cost him big. He's outside the top 10, looking to push his way back in now. Already up to 11th, looking for a little more. Let's check back with him as he is... Oh, we got a yellow. Ronald Swikey around on the back straightaway. So we're going to get to go backwards and check out a replay here as the caution flag comes out. There goes the 15, and let's check out what happened. So he's running on the outside of John Shulcheski all the way up the racetrack. Looks smooth so far. I'm expecting he's just going to get the rear loose out of the corner on his own. He's just going to hit the throttle and slide. Yep, so he hit the throttle, lost the grip in the rear tires, and a self-spin and into the inside wall. Solid hits for the 15 car. Unfortunate, he is going to have to go get those repaired. That is the first actual caution of the race, and he actually did not pit yet. So in the meantime, we should talk to someone else. And I'm thinking we're going to pick a random driver to talk to here quickly. We got Mo Perry in the booth. Mo Perry, you got a copy?
Unfortunately.
Oh, that's not nice. Okay, so Mo Perry, you're running P5 in this race. Very solid, kind of quiet run through the first 50 laps. How do you take on the second half compared to the first? I assume you're trying to hold back a little bit and keep the car in good shape for that first half.
I didn't have any practice for this. I was able to join like right as qualifying started. So essentially the first half of the race was just learning how the thing was going to drive. Don't really have any points of reference aside from that. So hoping I can not kill the tires like I did on the first run, because I was probably going about as hard as I could near the end there, and I was still getting past. So just got to hope the second half goes better than the first.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And how do you feel about these small, flat tracks like this, like a track that you don't really have the banking to lean on, and you got to manage those tires a little bit better? Is that something you're conventionally struggling with in an ARCA car or a stock car?
I tend to think that I'm better at this kind of track rather than a high banked oval. Granted, though, my best track on iRacing is Concord, which is like the exact opposite. But I tend to like these tracks better, especially seeing as, I live 45 minutes from this one. So, hey, it's kind of nice.
It's kind of nice. Hey, well, it's a homecoming race for you, and we'll see what more you have for us and see where you end up. Good luck the rest of the way, Mo Perry.
And have fun with the rest of the broadcast, sir.
Aw, nobody ever says that. That's so sweet. Thanks, Mo.
Aw.
All right, put Mo back in. Get ready to talk with teammates. He's running in this event a Johnson Racing Industries team-up little deal. That was so sweet of Mo Perry. All right, we will have 60 laps done in this event, and Aiden Walker will lead with Isaac Johnson to his outside. That is the preferred line, but Walker really stings him on the restart. And into the first corner, backs it up a little bit, and Aiden Walker back to the race lead. Walker looking for the third win this season, and that little mistake as we get a little close here for second place. Isaac Johnson's not really doing it right now. Oh, it's Grindel sliding. Yep, Grindel backs them all up. Mo Perry has to dive to the inside. We stay green. Oh, contact again. Bobby Blazer, Bennett. Oh, big, jeez, Mary, goodness, golly, gosh darn it, dang it, and we have a caution. Grindel kind of got a send there. A couple cars got into contact with him and others around, and that is going to bring out the yellow. Cautions breed cautions. Unfortunately, we got another one. Backwards we will go. So in turns 1 and 2, big slide. Mo Perry does a fantastic job of not making contact. Bobby Blazer does the same, not getting into Brett Bennett. So Mo Perry makes that position up, goes really low down on the racetrack, and Mo's in the clear. Now the problem comes with Grindel back here as contact between Bennett and Blazer on the inside, and then Bennett's going to touch Blazer here. They're going to get into each other, and then he's just going to not brake with everybody else. And into Grindel, and the 70 car goes around. The 4 gets involved, And then John Szulczewski, the 82, actually, Michael Deitch, unfortunately nowhere to go. Szulczewski also into that. Virgil Stanley and Swikey slides up into the wall on his own, getting a little bit nervous about what's going on in front of him. And that is the group of them, and we're going to go ahead and talk to one of the drivers in that incident. We've got John Szulczewski in the booth. John, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
John, take us through your perspective of what just happened to bring out this yellow flag.
Looked like someone just hooked the ever-living crap out of the 70 car in front of me, and there was really nowhere to go.
Fair assessment, fair assessment. Now, assess for me the running through this race for yourself, John. How are you feeling about this racetrack and what Indianapolis Raceway Park provides to these ARCA cars being so flat like it is?
Gives you a lot of room to run. Like, you can run the bottom, you can run the top, you can make just about anything work with whatever your driving style is. It's a lot of fun to drive, and as long as you can save your tire, you can make a charge for it at the end of the run.
That's a fair analysis from a guy who ought to know a thing or two about these cars running around a racetrack like this. John, I'll send you back to get ready for the restart. I think you came from the Team Topia group? Yep. All right.
Yep.
Good luck the rest of the way, my friend.
Thanks, sir.
That is John Szulczewski, and let's jump back up the order a little bit. Are we going to go back to green this time? We are. Let's see what happens when we go back to green. Mo Perry in the top 5. Bobby Blazer with a great run sitting in 6th place. Presley Sora has gotten himself back up to 9th with that whole mess. William Schmidt 3rd. Isaac Johnson 2nd. Still to Aiden Walker leading the way up front. So down into the second set of turns. We'll see if Johnson does a better job with the restart this time, or if Aiden Walker can smoke him down into turn 1 again. Let's go to this camera. Nice run through the corner for everybody. About 3 wide at the back here. Sora looking on Mancini up here. Sora's sitting 9th. And Isaac Johnson's still struggling up there to do anything with 2nd place right now. Sora's stuck behind Mancini and Sanford. I don't know if he's going to go for it or if he's just going to have to kind of reside back here. But if he's looking for the points championship, he's got to start making moves, get a little closer to the front end of the race. Isaac Johnson, 2nd place. Now that it's single filed out, he's doing okay. And Henry Kalhoff actually coming in strong. Nice run from Kalhoff up into 4th place as we're coming on to lap 69. Nice, holy, nice. Oh, God. That was not nice. Huge crash. Huge incident. Who's back here? Nolan Sanford gets turned around facing the right direction. We're going to have to check a replay back of all of that. All right, so I think this starts a little bit further up in front because Presley Sora was involved. So Blazer gets into the wall really bad, and Mo Perry gets spun off of him. Cole Frelick's in the pack here in the booth. Mancini goes around.
Hey, man.
Holy shit. Pirouetting side by side, Presley Sora and Nolan Sanford. Cole, you're coming in at the right time. There's a huge crash. We're on lap 70. Sanford, Sora, Bobby Blazer involved. Nolan Sanford really got the worst of it. Antonio Mancini with a little bit. John Szulczewski, wreck avoidance. And a big crash to get us into the last 30 laps of this one, Cole Frelick. We're at IRP.
Yeah. I've had my fair share of wins here. Not defending the crown this year because I was doing UFL at Montreal. That went interesting. I finished 4th, so it went good for me, but very interesting race.
There's a United Football League team based out of Montreal.
Yeah, shocker, I know, right?
That's crazy. Well, hey, let's go ahead. I want to bring the leader into the broadcast, Aiden Walker.
I was just talking to this guy.
Aiden Walker, you are leading the race right now. You have led since the halfway break. Isaac Johnson just doesn't seem to quite have it, but what do you have to do to hold on to the race lead from here?
Really just kind of either we finish this race all the way to the end with green, or we just keep this caution fest thing. Because right now, if it were to stay like this, it would be pretty easily with the strategy. But if it kind of gets a run and it's like very weird with strategy, I think that's gonna be a little bit hard for me. But like as long as it stays how it is or goes green to the end, which I would prefer a lot more than that. Ike will be looking pretty good. I feel bad for Presley though. Me and him had such a great battle, and then ARCA officials decide to open the pits in time for him, so he couldn't pit in time, and I was able to pit before him, and then he had to pit a lap later. Kind of feel bad for him about that because that kind of ruined this race right there. So,
what's the secret to these restarts?
Really just trying to change some small things up, try making it a little bit unpredictable for the guy in second. I mean, Isaac's also used to single file starts where just how he starts with dirt stuff is a little bit different from asphalt and what I like doing. So, yeah, I think it's just mainly about trying to get a good jump and things.
Fair enough. Well, I'll send you back down. Good luck the rest of the way from the lead, Aiden.
Thank you.
And we're back at it, Cole Freilich. We have less than 30 laps to go in this event. It might be a shit show to the end, and it might go back to green. We'll just have to wait and see, but the green flag's coming at us. And looking. Holy, backed up field. Green flag, we're racing.
Yeah, that was a big stack up there. Looks like Aiden Walker clear of Isaac Johnson into turn 1. Back behind them, that's going to be Henry Kalhoff and William Schmidt battling side by side. Henry's not going to give that up either. Henry is a hard-nosed racer. Look at Isaac down to the inside, trying the apron. Oh, boy.
Jeez, that was
Yikes.
close.
Yeah, I get what he was going for, but it almost cost him both. That could have been really bad there.
Yeah, well, fortunately they got out of harm's way and we stay green. Now William Schmidt going to look to try to make a run at this, but I think Henry Kalhoff kind of in trouble here. He's stuck behind Isaac Johnson and stuck with Schmidt on the inside. So Schmidt, if he can make a run at it, he can maybe get Johnson, but for the time being, all he's really doing is holding Henry Kalhoff in position there.
Yeah, which, I mean, here at IRP, the outside line is preferred. They're making contact.
Whoa.
Woo! Schmitty with a hell of a save down the backstretch there.
And up into him. There's contact there, but they're clear.
You know, Joe, I have to race these guys tomorrow night. Good Lord. If they're racing like this, I'm scared because we're going to be at Bumpy Daytona for the OSRL duels for the season opener, and it looks like they're already coming out swinging.
Well, I'll tell you who's coming out swinging and has had a fantastic run up to this point in the race. Antonio Mancini has just slowly picked his way up into the top 5, and now he's fighting for 4th place. He's got Griffin Jones behind him, who's put together a nice run after things didn't quite go his way to start. Presley Sora looking to the inside there of the 53 car, and Sora is going to go by Griffin and move up another spot. Sora really needs to pick these guys off and get up to the front again if he wants to be able to contend for championship points, as we're closing in on the end of the season. Already a 32-point gap is not where he wants to be in the championship. So he's going to look to the inside of Mancini, and they're actually going to make contact to put Presley Sora back into the top 5.
Yeah, Presley absolutely bodying Antonio there. Looks like Griffin Jones having a good run right behind Antonio Mancini. He's marched his way up into the top 10, well into the top 10, but Aiden Walker starting to pull a gap on this big gaggle of cars.
Yeah, Walker's putting a gap on him, and that's definitely par for the course of what we've seen. When we started this race off, the first half had a well-matched 67 car to the 93, and they definitely took off compared to the rest of the field. Johnson's doing a good job of holding on to second right now, but just doesn't have what it takes in that car to get up into the race lead and contend with Aiden Walker.
And Aiden's a really good driver. I mean, this is his specialty. He specializes in short track racing. IRP is one of the tougher short tracks to master. I've conquered it. A couple others have conquered it. Presley Sora with a big dive to the inside of William Schmidt. Gonna nearly fence him, but they don't make contact yet. Now, looks like they're making a little contact. Off turn 4, Presley Sora with the position. That'll move him up to P4.
And Sora's not going to stop there. He's definitely going to keep looking at Henry Kalhoff, who's right in front of him in line, wiggling through the corner in the 63 car, black and pink with that machine. Sora looks to the outside. He said it in the pre-race. That's the line he prefers. He looks like he might have a nose on the outside of the 63 car, but it's going to come up right in front of him, comes and clips the nose. Sora going to look to the outside again and try to figure out a way around this 63 machine. I don't know if he's going to do it through 1 and 2. Cole, do these two corners run differently, or is it pretty much a carbon copy from side to side?
I feel like turn 3 is almost a little easier to run because, I mean, it's kind of like, in a way, kind of like IMS where you go off into turn 1, you feel like you're just driving off into nothing, and then you go into turn 3 and it's a little bit smoother. But it's still really tricky. I mean, you gotta hit your marks every time, or else you're gonna hit the wall. Looks like Henry Kaloff with a bit of a bobble there. Presley gonna look to the inside. I know one thing: Henry Kaloff's not gonna get this position up easy. He will burn the tires off of it if he has to.
And Presley Sora got so low he hit the apron, and he got a little bit of loose goose coming out of turn 4. That didn't help him with the run down the front straightaway. And yep, Cole's right. Henry Kaloff holds on the top side, drives the wheels off the thing to stay there. And the track position will definitely help you on a track like this. It's not a one-lane racetrack, Cole, but it's definitely a hard racetrack to pass on.
And that bottom groove is really hard to master. I mean, there is a bottom line. If you look in the back, Nolan Sanford, he just tried to do a slide job on Griffin Jones. So there are ways to pass around here. You can see Nolan actually getting the job done here on the bottom. It's all about how you roll that center, though, because, I mean, you pretty much got to make the pass, then park it on the guy.
And Sanford doesn't look like he has to park it very hard. He actually gets past Griffin Jones pretty easily through 3 and 4 that time. So Sanford is sacrificing his tires to get that position backed up, but now he's got his sights set on Antonio Mancini for 6th place. Aiden Walker's back up at the front, just checking in on our race leader, up in his own zip code as he comes past the line. Coming past with 13 laps to go. And no challenge from Isaac Johnson behind, who now has a nice gap as Presley Sora and Henry Kaloff. They got a hell of a battle going on here for 3rd.
Well, hell, Aiden Walker is so far out there, he might be at the memorabilia show by the time this race is over. Presley Sora with the boot to the inside, crossover by Henry Kaloff coming off turn 4. They're still dead even, Joe.
Yep, and Presley off the top side, he gets the momentum. He told us in the pre-race that was where he wanted to be. Kaloff slid into turn number 1. That's not going to help him through the turn. And off the top side, Presley Sora has completed the pass, and he's got himself back into the podium spots. Fantastic run for Presley Sora.
Caution!
We got a yellow.
It is the 33.
Brett Baldeck around on the front straightaway, and that's going to bring everybody back together, and that might be really, really good for Presley Sora. We'll get a replay back on the screen of what happened to this 33 car. I'm going to hit this button a few times. Looks like he's making contact with Brayton Laster as he comes down the front stretch. I'm going to go one spot back again, and we're going to check out what happens to the 33 Toyota Camry as Brayton Laster. Go ahead, Cole.
What did he do here? Looks like he caught the apron and then it hooked absolutely right on him.
You know, he's probably got an interesting setup on that car. He's also sponsored by the 500 Sprint Car Tour. That's pretty cool. That's a local, sort of regional series that would include this racetrack on its calendar for running the sprints, not the Silver Crowns, but the higher level sprints that they run in the Midwest. So he got into the wall pretty solid there, and like Cole said, he kind of caught what I thought he caught the seam in the middle of the corner, and he got kind of geared up weird, and then he hit the apron, and that's what really got him screwed up on the straightaway. That's kind of what it looked like from my perspective. He's going to get a fast repair on this 33 machine, and Brett Baldeck will return to the racetrack in not too long.
Well, somebody did not set the numbers for this session, because one, somebody's in the damn 15. That's a problem. Two, we got 233 cars.
Actually, we do. You're right.
So that's confusing. What kind of cut rate production is this?
This is the PresleySora.com GAVARCA Series live on Twitch, presented by Joe Donahue, presented by PresleySora.com and Runnings Racing's Designs.
Well, Joe, we're going to do a new little segment here under yellow while we got time. Paint scheme spotlight. We're going to go to the 18 car.
Okay.
Because I just got done racing John in UFL, and that is the second banger of a paint scheme I've seen tonight out of him. He had a really cool PlayStation car on the Gen 4, and this one, I'm liking the updated cars for John.
What, the orange with the green here?
I see like a metallic green with black and white. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing a different paint.
That is a different paint than what I am seeing on my screen. Interesting.
Well,
I wonder if he changed it late or something. There's a metallic green on this, but yeah, no.
This car is like mostly green with the black design on it.
That's crazy. We're looking at two different race cars.
Chrome numbers.
If you were a number, Cole, you'd be a chrome number.
If I was a number, I'd be 15, or in OSRL, 83.
Well, if Aiden Walker was a number, he'd be number 1 because he's been leading with little to no competition up to this point. However, Presley Sora sitting behind him now. That is the only car that's been able to touch the 93 so far in this race, and he's now in position to get back up there with him. 7 laps to go at the line. Who's going to do it? We only got one way to find out. Let's set him green flag, hope they don't crash, and see what happens.
Another huge jump for Aiden Walker there. Isaac tried to clear bottom. Presley's going to be right there.
Contact.
Presley, if he can make short work of Isaac, he can get to Aiden. But they're still dead even off of 2, so it might be tough. Well, Presley just threw it in there. Going to clear. Isaac going to cross under. Henry Kaloff giving him the rotation.
Oh, shit.
No!
Oh, shit.
Oh, the whole field's in it.
Oh, God.
Everybody's in
Oh,
it.
crap. We just crashed everybody.
Isaac Johnson, Harry Grindell. I don't know who the hell the 4 car is. I don't know who the 11 car is. All your favorites in it.
Damn.
That was a thing that just happened.
That was a high percentage crash right there. We're going to have to go back.
That was a low risk move that led to a high risk outcome.
That was terrible. I mean,
that
really stunk. So the contact with Kalhoff gets Johnson on the inside, and Johnson looks okay at this point. He's sliding. Never mind. Isaac Johnson slides up the racetrack and then just into Sora, and just at a bad spot, it gets Sora sideways, and he can't get off the 33 car and takes Isaac into the inside wall, and then they're going to come back up across the racetrack in front of everybody. Griffin Jones. Nolan Sanford actually avoids it. Bobby Blazer does too, but then you got Stanley. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you just had a whole line of cars there plow into it. Harry Grindell, the first one. Virgil Stanley, the second. I believe that's the 4 of Brett Bennett in there. John Shulcheski grazed by Harry Grindell there. But just a scrap heap off into turn 1.
We're going to pull this back again. Let's see who's in here that maybe can talk a little bit about this incident. You know what?
I have a good idea.
Go for
Let's
it.
pull Isaac.
I was thinking the same
Isaac
thing.
Johnson. You, sir, what was the plan?
I don't know.
You realize, Isaac, you realize the track is 5 lanes up the track. You were at the memorabilia show with how low you two got.
I was trying to get off of him, but he was too cockeyed, so we kept just going further, and eventually I tried to turn right to straighten back out, and it kind of worked. Unfortunately, by the time he got going back straight, the inside pit wall was greeting me with open arms, and by the time I locked the brakes back down, it was too late. Oh my lord, I killed everybody.
That did happen.
You somehow took the second and third place car and hit the damn 18th place car.
Hey man.
Hey, man.
Californians are really good at tearing shit up.
Okay.
We're going to green, white,
Why is it so dark? This goes crazy.
I don't know. This place has lights.
We might
Hard
need to
Night
turn
Classic
off.
people, the
Bob?
lights has the lights work.
Should we throw Isaac Johnson back in his group chat here to get his drivers to the end of the race here? Let's go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Isaac John. Never
All
mind. Cole just threw him out. He threw him out.
He deserved to be thrown out for that one.
Yep. All right, green, white, checkered, Cole Freilich. We've got a mess on our hands. Aiden Walker back to the lead. Henry Kalhoff now to the outside. New driver in position to try to take him down. Let's see what the 63 car can do from the outside. Mancini and William Schmidt in row number 2. Holy shit, Bobby Blazer just ass-packed Mancini into the start, and back underway we go.
Henry Kelf may actually have a shot here. If he's close enough, he might be able to strike and knock him out of the way. I mean, Henry is a very hard-nosed racer, so I would not put it past him. He's rotating the center really good. Coming to the white flag here. Looks like we're going to get it clean. Aiden Walker still leading with Henry Kalhoff going off into turn 1. Kalhoff sends it. Not close enough yet, but going to try to get the momentum down the back straightaway. Henry Kalhoff close. He's in striking distance. Does he send it? He goes way deep into the turn, misses, and Aiden Walker comes off a turn 4 to win the Hoosier 100.
Nice stuff from Aiden Walker. He dove in deep, and he was able to hold on to
We
it.
got a crash across the line.
We got a hell of a shit show going on back here. What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Oh, Lord. Oh! Oh! Whoa.
Ay, Dios mío. Oh, Presley Sora upside down.
Oh, my gosh. We killed Presley Sora. I can still race. Well,
That was a
hey.
very good race, Joseph.
Aiden Walker really, when he went in past the white flag, he went into turn number 1, and he just dove in deep. He stayed there, and he was able to hold the lead by kind of diving in, keeping his momentum up, getting in the way of Henry Kalhoff, and then just riding out the corner, staying in front enough. So well driven by Aiden Walker, the only repeat winner of this season for the PresleySora.com GAVARCA Series, and it is a third time past the line. Let's go ahead and bring him in the booth. Cole, you want to go ahead and throw a... Well, actually, is he going to do burnout? Let's see. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens here. He's just pulling into victory lane. All right, let's get him. Let's let him get into the victory lane area here, and let's pull him into the booth. That is Aiden Walker. Do you have a copy? Race winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, that was a great run to the finish. Talk to me a little bit about the 2 to go into that green, white, checkered situation and how you held back Kalhoff there.
Really just trying not to get hit by him in the rear end, because especially heading into the 3 and 4 on the final lap, he really tried sending it in, trying to move me up the track, which doesn't really surprise me. He gets very desperate in some situations, which isn't any offense to him or any of that. I mean, I kind of expected it anyways. I mean, you're going to see that anytime when it comes to these. So, yeah, just trying to avoid getting moved out of the way or dumped out of the way and things. So, are we going to talk about Isaac Johnson killing the field?
If you want to. Yeah, you want to you want to go ahead?
Yeah. So right before that restart, me and Isaac were talking to each other. I was saying, because he was like, it's... Because I think Mo asked a question or something. And then Isaac said, oh, well, it's me, Presley, and Aiden up front. We're probably going to wreck somehow. And I'm like, it's just going to be you and Presley. And then we go green, go around off 4, and give a guess what happened. They make contact, and I just look in my mirror. I see him down at the pit wall, getting ready to head into one. I'm like, it happened to Presley again.
We saw all that go down on the screen. Yeah. Yeah.
Funny thing is, that's not the first time that's happened to Presley entering a corner. Just this time it was entering turn 1, not turn 3. And no, I'm not mentioning the left front shock. I'm mentioning Cole Freilich and Presley Sora going to turn 3 and killing each other and killing the field. So,
Hey, I never wrecked. He simply went straight into the wall.
You guys still wrecked, though.
I don't know. It can't be proven in the court of law. There's no video evidence. This is not the NASCAR trial.
Although Madeline told me before the race, if I were to win, I can't use the motor. We gotta save the motor for the rest of the season. So we're gonna get like probably about $4 out of this race. Hopefully that helps get the motor still running for next week, and hopefully we can pick up another win.
Fantastic stuff, Aiden. Well, who do you have to thank and shout out on the broadcast here for putting that 93 car in victory lane for a third time this season?
Well, first of all, I got to thank Civic Organization Racing. Great team. Arc News Central for sponsoring us. Blue Line Tennessee, Calder Motor Company, Lively's Custom Diecast, and Hyperco Coils, which, they lended us some springs, all that, luckily. So, who knows? Maybe that made a difference tonight.
Well, maybe it did. Well, congratulations again, Aiden Walker, for the third victory of the season and a stranglehold on the championship with just a few more races to go.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff from Aiden Walker. And that's the end of the deal there. Cole Freilich, do you have the final results on hand that you can run through with me here?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Sure.
I am texting Miss Alexis about Petit Le Mans tickets.
That's all good.
All right, so,
yeah, you go ahead, top 10.
All right. So Aiden Walker comes home with the big win tonight. Hoosier 100 is a big deal to win that race. Henry Kalhoff comes home second. William Schmidt going to be looking to take this momentum into the OSRL season with a third place run. Antonio Mancini, I believe that might actually be his best ever finish in GAVARCA history. Comes home P4. Nolan Sanford with the 5th. How about Mo Perry? Haven't really talked about him all night. He's up to 6th. Bobby Blazer in 7th. Michael Deitch in 8th. Ronald Swikey, giving the old 15 car a good run in 9th. And John Shelfs, he left the shelves on the keys in 10th.
Nice stuff. Griffin Jones going to come home 11th in the 53 car. Had some highlights tonight. Virgil Stanley actually did a pretty solid job this evening, only involved in one incident. There were definitely some races so far where that was not the case. Brayton Laster 13th here. Brett Baldeck going to end up 14th after some pretty massive contact in this one. Brett Bennett, the two Bretts side by side. That was confusing. Brett Bennett, involved in a couple incidents here tonight, goes 15th at the end of it. Gavin Newton had a tough start to his night, ended up 16th. Presley Sora really in trouble getting a 17th position result out of this event. That's not good for the championship at all. Isaac Johnson and Harry Grindell both caught up in that incident that ended their nights 18th and 19th respectively. They did not finish this race. Cole Freilich, the PresleySora.com 100 here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Something of the Hoosier 100, except the Hoosier 100 is a 100-mile race, and this was a 100-lap race because the racetrack is not a mile long. Your thoughts on the 30 laps that you got to be a part of?
Alexis was here, she'd be very happy that we actually ran 100 laps and not 156 or whatever it is, because that pissed her off in May. And there was no steps for her to follow on this week. So
that's hilarious.
Hey, you're the one who played her to her doom there.
I don't know if there was enough time in between myself starting and her tripping for that to be true. But
I don't know. You got and then
that did happen.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, it looked like a classic IRP GAVARCA race. Looks like there was a lot less terrorism in the field tonight, so maybe hung up the old GAVARCA shoes a little too early, but that's okay.
Hey, it's all fair. Well, if you come back and jump in for the next races, that would be cool by me as well. So thank you for jumping in on the broadcast. Shout out to Presley Sora and PresleySora.com for sponsoring this race this evening. Shout out to Gavin Newton for putting the show on, and for everybody watching along with us on Twitch Live. We will put the replay back up on the GAVARCA YouTube channel. The next races we have set for this series are an 80-lapper at Kern County and a 40-lapper at Rockingham. They were originally scheduled to be tonight, but we pushed the schedule back a week. So we're going to have to double check, but I believe 1 week from tonight, you will be able to come back to the GAVARCA Twitch channel and watch Kern and Rockingham live here as we get closer to the end of the championship. I want to thank everybody again for coming out with us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to be ready for next time. Leave a like if you love Cole Freilich, which means this channel should have 1 million likes because everybody should love Cole Freilich. And we will see you in the next broadcast. Thank you once again for being here. And now I'm going to find where the button is and drink some water that the lemon is not tasting weird in.